Welcome, everybody, to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast made for people who call an unmodified 20 a dirty 20.
Filthy, gusting 20. But yeah,
Putrid 20.
Get him out of here. We don't want him.
Slutty
Did I
20.
go, like, New York with that? I was like, get him out of here. No, it's not. I don't know what that is. Who the fuck knows? I was saying, who knows what my voice does? Half time, I don't even, it's whatever.
I wouldn't be able to recognize one accent to another. Unless it's like very much on the nose, unless it's very much, okay, so yeah, that sounds like a cartoon character.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's European? Sometimes I get Australian, right? Or like, that's about it. That's my segments.
That was fascinating. So how have you been? This feels like ages since we chatted.
Right? Time zones are a bitch. That time change got us both last week, but thank God for Mistress. Like,
yeah, Mistress Winter. Not only did she like jump on like with moments to fucking spare to help,
right?
She had to put up with me fucking dying, my internet connection being all over the fucking place, and she just handled it like a champ. It was like,
I love it.
See, that's when we get professionals in. That's what they do.
Exactly. And we are not that.
We are not professional.
No,
we are just
not even slightly.
No, we're just shit.
Yeah, but we're fun shit.
We're fun shit. I like to think we're fun shit.
Yeah,
I like to think we're. Yeah, no, it's maybe if there was a Crit Award category for funniest shit.
Yep.
I think we'd be up there. I think
we'd be up there.
Realistically, we'd be in with a chance.
You know what I really want to do this summer? Speaking of summer, because like, how have I been? I've been good, but like, I'm coming out of my hibernation phase, so I'm doing a lot outside of the house now because it's sunshine. It's wonderful, right? Yeah, I want to make like a bunch of dice piñatas and fill them with dice.
Okay, I like it. I like the idea.
And just have like a party or at one of the games, like every time a player hits a nat 20, they get to whack at the piñata. You know, I mean, there's really no point in doing it. I just want to do it.
No, I mean, I like it. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
When's the last time someone
you got to be careful. Got to be careful to do it like over like a carpet as opposed to on a tile floor because those fuckers will bounce. There'll be nothing worse than breaking open a dice piñata and losing all the fucking dice.
No carpet in my house. None. I have rugs. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know how far the thing is. I have wood, but like...
Ladies and gentlemen, Atlas is showing us her rug.
Yes. Yeah. And my wood. Yeah.
Her wood and her rug. That's for $5 and above tier.
Yes. Yes, it is. Anyways. But yeah, I've been good. I've been good. How have you been?
I've been really good. I've been fantastic.
You went on vacation.
I was, and you know, it was very much needed. It was a good disconnect. Found somewhere that I fell in love with. I
love that feeling.
Whitby. If I want to run a Vampire the Masquerade LARP in Whitby.
Yes. Oh my God. Here's the problem. I know that I could get into LARPing. The problem would be one of two things. I either couldn't take myself seriously, so I'd be giggling the whole time, or I'd get so into it and take myself so seriously that I'd be giggling at myself the whole time. Like, no matter what, I'm going to be giggling. So
my problem would be with LARPing that I would be uncomfortable, so I would not take anybody seriously. Because that's my defense mechanism. The moment I'm uncomfortable, the jokes start coming out.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, if I was LARPing, I wouldn't last. They would kick me out too quickly.
Have you ever done LARPing? Like, have you ever?
Never done LARPing.
I mean, I've done theater, but I don't think that counts. I mean, it could. Technically, it's the same thing. It really is.
It's related. I think LARPing obviously a lot more improv based.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it could be sort of related, but yeah.
Like, I used to write role play, you know, like the text-based role playing. I used to do that, and I was actually rereading some of my old works the other day, and I was like, oh God, I was good, and I was smooth, and I'm like, yeah, because I had time to think about my response. You put me in like a live action situation, and let's just say like, please, nobody flirt with me. I'm so bad at it. It's not even funny. Like, I actually had a game where a player was flirting with me directly. Like, that was part of the scripted storyline. We knew it was coming. Me as a character and player just shut down. It was like, it was so bad. It was bad. It was just I can't flirt.
The thing is, I don't know if I can flirt or not. I've never
Ask your
actually.
lovely partner. Ask her. Be
I
like,
don't
can
think.
I flirt?
I don't think we flirted. I just think we both went, "You, yeah,
Yeah.
oh," and that was it. That was basically our entire courtship right there. It was just
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I don't think I've never intentionally gone out to get anybody. It's either been like friends or accidental. I don't know, but I definitely can't do it in game. Definitely can't do it in game, which should be the safe place where I can. But no. That's why I was
I
so
mean,
disappointed in the Thirsty Sword lesbians, because I wanted it to be Thirsty Swords, not
but you can make the game work. If people take D&D and bastardize it beyond all fucking recognition, I'm sure you can make a slight change to Thirsty
I mean,
Sword lesbians.
no, I know, but everybody else in the game would be playing it to flirt and not me, and then I'd be awkward because I'd be like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna go sharpen my sword."
It's role playing. It is.
Yeah.
It is role playing. I mean, I suppose when I was in the service trade, I think there was an element of flirting to that because
Yeah.
I need some tips. So
Yeah.
I think I kind of managed to lay it on pretty thick.
When oh god, I was part of a what is it when you get food, but it's like at a party, like at a wedding. What is that called?
Faye?
Nope. It's I mean yes, but it's where like
Catering?
yes. Okay, so
I
I did
went
catering.
American. I went catering.
You did
Yeah.
catering?
Catering, for fuck's sake.
I used to be a waitress for a catering company, and there was no need to flirt because everybody was already smash face drunk by the time they got to the reception. So, like, the amount of beer stains I had on my uniform, I was just like so disappointed. But at the same time, it was good money.
Yeah, I mean, I used to make quite good tips. I mean, I can
Yeah.
turn on the charm when I need to.
I can't.
Yeah, I can. I mean, my customer service was always spot on because I could just go,
That's fantastic.
and all of a sudden, I'm the most charming person in the world. And so yeah, I used to get a good amount of tips.
Okay. All right. We'll have to find some way to use that at some point.
I'm a sleazy bastard. That's why.
Speaking of being a sleazy bastard, did you do any playing lately? That's a
I
horrible
did.
segue.
We got back into Delta Green,
Mm.
which was phenomenal.
Why was it phenomenal?
Because it shifted gears very fucking quickly.
Like storyline?
Yep.
What happened?
The beauty of Delta Green is their operations are not linear. They're not basically this happens and then this happens and then this. You just get given information. So Impossible Landscapes has so many things and so many rabbit holes to kind of go down and eventually end up in the same place. But they got into a position where they nearly died.
Shit.
Two of them.
From what? Like from what? How'd they
They were
invested, John. I'm invested.
Okay, so they were investigating. I'm trying to do it without spoilers.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Because I know a lot of people want to play this, so I've got to be very careful.
Okay.
They went and investigated someone without realizing just how deep this person was connected to the unnatural. And shit went south from there. So they got attacked by a device of some sort, which nearly killed two of them. So the two that were still standing managed to get them out, and in order to help them, they went to the only place they could think of, which just happened to be the place that they were investigating, which is now like dumped them in the world of the unnatural beyond any sort of recognition.
So they're just stuck there. That's how the game ends. They're in the world of like they're
in another place. They don't exactly know the logistics of it, but we're gonna kind of go from there. But they skipped so much to get to that point. There is so much that they didn't uncover.
They're fucked.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're fucked regardless. They are fucked regardless.
You're
and it's
GMing
fantastic.
this, right? Okay. All right.
And I love GMing Delta Green. It is so much fun.
I know it's your game. It's your game.
One of them. I am getting I'm definitely going down the rabbit hole in Savage Worlds. It's fucking clicked.
Ah, good. I love Savage. I know that there's like a lot of mechanics that can kind of get a little like, I don't want to say clunky, but there's some like, okay, working arounds, but like it's so good. Every Savage game I've played in, I want more. I haven't GM'd it yet, but playing in Savage Worlds is so fun. I love it. It's always been good.
I like it. I'm at the point now where it is clicked, where even if I don't know a rule, I kind of see the design philosophy behind it, and I'm able to wing something and pretty much get it right.
Yeah.
Which is, we were talking about this in the Traveler's Chalice, when a system just clicks with you. Like, for example, PBTA does not click with me. I understand it. I know the rules.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't quite... I can't make judgment calls and be on the money as I am with Pathfinder or with Savage Worlds or Delta Green or Blades in the Dark. You know, so I'm at that point now.
I feel like I struggled with certain mechanics of Household for a while like that, where I was kind of like, I was learning the system, I was reading it, and I was like, okay, I get it, but I still don't understand this side of things. I don't understand. And then I reread it the second time. That was just after one read through. Second time I read through it, I was like, got it. Like, got it. But the first time, I think, to be honest, I was less focused on learning the system because it's written as a history book. Like, it's written as a story. So when you're reading it, I'm so invested in what's happening that I was like, oh, there's shit. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Like, whoops.
Just want to say a quick shout out to chat. Hey guys, it's great to see you. There's a question from Connell, and it is, how do I feel about the shake and damage thing? To be honest, I don't mind it. I intend to keep the Benny economy going pretty fluidly. So, you know, if they get shaken, spend a Benny. They'll be getting another one in a minute anyway.
Love the Bennies. Bennies are good.
Yeah, so I bought, what did I buy? I bought Savage Pathfinder core rulebook, Savage Pathfinder Advanced Player's Guide. I bought the Fantasy Companion, the Sci-Fi Companion, and I've just got one called Buccaneer.
Okay.
Through Hell or High Water. It's for the previous edition of Suede, but there's there's a conversion document, and that's because I'm going to be running Skull and Shackles, which is a Pathfinder adventure path.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Fuck Pathfinder. We're going to play a decent game.
Oh, there you go.
We're going to play an actual role-playing game.
I had just gotten done saying that I would never be able to run this game with my table, and I probably won't. But I was gifted this by someone paying attention to how much I was ranting and raving about it. And I have Bluebeard's Bright. Look how fucking pretty that is.
That's pretty as fuck.
Look how pretty. Like I know we don't usually we show PDFs and stuff, but the PDFs do not do this. I don't know if I can do this on a camera, but like, I guess trigger warning for gold and skulls or whatever. But like, look how pretty these are.
They are very, very pretty.
So like, this is my next project. It shouldn't be, but it's gonna be. I don't know if I'm ever gonna play it, but I don't know if anybody wants to play Bluebeard's Bride. Hit me up. It is trigger warning as hell, but I mean, look how pretty. Look how pretty. That's gold shiny stuff. I don't know.
Nah, I like it. I like that.
So yeah, your Savage Worlds is my Bluebeard, because I was all over Household, and then I found Bluebeard, and now I'm actually trying to figure out if I can like have them make babies.
Yeah, I mean, I need to start prepping Savage Worlds, because that's what I'm going to be running once Impossible Landscape ends.
Yeah.
And we're about halfway through Impossible Landscapes now.
Okay.
So I definitely need to. I need to start getting my arse in gear.
Yeah, we had been on a rotating schedule of 3 GMs for a while, and so I played once a month because it was the original, like the home base GM, which is Connell, me and another GM, and it would be basically Connell, me, Connell, the other person, Connell, me, the other person. Very long story short, I'm not gonna get into it. The other person bailed, like just up and vanished without any heads up. So now I have to make a decision if I want to play if I want to GM every other game or like every other 2 games. I was not ready for the story to progress as fast as doing it every other game. So I'm sitting there going, shit, do I need to get a next game started and ready? Or like, so now I'm starting to look a little more seriously at games like, oh God, I need to get my act together. Like, I got to have a couple backups ready to go.
I mean, you can always just get something where you can run one-shots in. Just to kind of,
hold
tide over
yeah,
until you get into the swing of things of being able to kind of run a week or a bi-weekly game, as it were.
Yeah, because it caught us off guard. It's like, oh, okay.
You'll be fine.
He'll be fine. He'll be
No,
fine.
you will
We'll
be.
make it work.
Like 100%. Speaking of bi-weekly games, Couch got back to Fabula. We got back into it.
Yes. Okay, thank God. I miss Couch.
So-
How's Couch? Anybody listening? Couch is our other friend that abandoned us. No, I'm kidding. He didn't abandon us. He's got a lovely family with a lovely job.
No, Couch
He's
is
a big kid.
doing really well.
Good.
See him once a week, whether it's for
Good.
Delta Green or Fabula Ultima.
At least he's
So,
playing. That's the
yeah,
important
he's
part.
playing. And
Good.
he's still running a good Fabula game. It's fantastic.
Good.
So yeah, we kind of got back into that. We started a new sort of arc, as it were. Our characters are getting up there in level now, so starting to see what high level Fabula play is kind of like, and it's not too bad. It's all right. It holds up so far.
Good. Good.
So yeah, it's so what else have you been playing then? Because it has been 3 weeks.
It has been 3 weeks. Oh God. I played some Mutants and Masterminds. I played some Level Up. Like it's just been I've been trying to play more. Cause like there's a big networking vibe a lot in the community. And I kind of want to get away from that and just play more. So I've been pushing that. And so we've been playing a lot of games and it's been a lot of fun. I've been trying to get back into doing some like game art. So I've just tried to really deep dive into being in the game, being in the hobby itself instead of networking.
Yeah,
that sounds horrible, but it's just kind of like okay,
no, but it is true.
Yeah,
it is,
yeah.
and I've kind of taken a bit of a step back from that as
Yeah.
well. Like we've got some actual plays that are just kind of still hanging there.
Yeah.
Whether we get back to them or not, that's another conversation to be had.
Right.
But
right
now, I'm enjoying playing. I'm enjoying running. I'm enjoying prepping. I'm enjoying just, getting these ideas and getting excited for stuff without having to think about, putting it out there for somebody. And I don't care. That has become the whole point of it. Is I don't really care too much about creating a product anymore.
Right. And that's what made me so stupid happy is on my Discord, we do closed door games. Not saying it's closed to the community or the outsiders. It's literally just like there's no recording. It's not streamed. It's not whatever. It's just, okay, we're going to sit down at a table, close the door. We're playing a game together. And we did that with Mutants and Masterminds. It was really fun. Spoiler alert, I guess, but Crash, Stefan's character, BC's character, made an appearance for this Mutants and Masters game. And it was just a whole bunch of people from the Discord that wanted to play. So Connell threw together a random game and we were all stressed out. And so he's like, okay, we're going to punch Nazis basically. And he came up with a game for us to just get some stress out, especially with the community or not community, the United States and that whole whatever.
That dumpster fire that is your country.
Yeah, like we didn't have to think about anything. We didn't have to analyze anything. It was just fun. And it was that made me kind of sit back a little bit and be like, oof, I've been putting too much thought into things. Like you said, like I want to get excited about games again. I want to, do things that bring me joy. But no, like stop overanalyzing it.
Yeah. I mean, you can put all the funny voices on you want, but it is that is essentially it. We when I started getting into the Savage Worlds and made a decision of kind of going, you know what, Skull and Shackles. I started it once, it fell apart. I'm going to do the adventure path.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use Savage Worlds for it so I can learn the system at the same time. And that's got me excited again. That's kind of got me, I want to GM this. And that's got me in a position of, okay, so Skull and Shackles works. What about getting the other Pathfinder adventure paths that I've got a fucking ton of?
Yeah, do it.
And, I might as well.
Yeah. I legit think, going back to getting excited, there's no, I'm going to get on a soapbox. There's no fucking rules to how you want to have fun. That's the baseline. Yes, systems have rules. And if you're going to follow them, blah, 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 you're playing a game. You're playing a game together with friends. If you're going to do something to have fun with it. I'm literally going to be combining old school Dracula with the Bluebeard game with Household. Why? Because I want to, because I'm excited about a story that popped in my head and it'll be fun. And a couple of friends that I've talked to about it, they're like, holy shit, I want to play that. I'm like, all right, fine, let's play it. Like have fun with it. You gotta get excited about what you're doing because that also that leaks into your players. Your players or who your teammates or the people across the table from you can tell if you're excited about something or not, or whether it's okay, guys, like I gotta have this. Like I've got the rules memorized. I got my things in gear. Which I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of those things. I have notes. I keep my notes up to date. I have rules memorized. But like people can tell when you're excited about something or not. People can tell when you're exhausted.
Yeah.
Like
And
it's just obvious.
I mean, for me, it's like that with Pathfinder. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
running. I'm still finishing 2 Pathfinder games. I've got
Mm-hmm.
Abomination Vault, which I've got 2 more sessions. We're going to get that over the next couple of weeks, and
Yeah.
then we've got to start Kingmaker up. And this time around for Kingmaker, I've got right. Fuck maps, fuck minis.
Have fun with it.
This is how
Yeah.
I'm going to run it.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting on people to decide whether that's something they want, or if if the game
Yeah.
gets cancelled. But
Exactly. And that's how you should.
if I'm running something, I want to run what I want to run. I'm done
Yeah.
running things for other people.
Yeah. And I mean, like, that's one of those things I think that like Connell and I both harp on is that the GM, while yes, has a lot of responsibilities to bring to the table, which there's a whole community like viewpoint of like, oh, GMs shouldn't be doing that. They're just like another player. And that's fine. That's another type of game. But we're talking about this type of game where like the GM has responsibilities of running the game. The GM needs to have fun.
Yeah,
like
of course.
Anybody sitting at the table, like the GM's not a slave, they're not a servant. Like the GM's running a certain story, they're running a certain story.
Yeah, I'm certainly fucking not.
Yeah, no. Oh my gosh, no. And that's I don't know. I'm just been excited to play again. Like, oh my god, have we talked since the Black Dragon? Have we talked, viewers?
We have
listeners? Not. We haven't. Oh my god. So our last session of the game that I'm going to be playing tonight, I'm super excited. We fought it was we fought a young black dragon, and it was so much fun because it was like situations where there's 5 of us and we're going, okay, a lot of us are really good at not thinking as players, we think as the characters. So when this black dragon shows up, it's like, oh, we fucked, because the black dragon was actually kind of like a patron of a goblin horde village that was attacking our town. This is one of those things where we're like, we're so fucked, and all of us are so young and so new to our characters, like, or our characters are new to their powers or their abilities and their skills. Like, it's very much so real life. These teenagers are fighting this dragon. It was so much fun playing a teenager that has no fucking clue what she's doing. It's just kind of like but that was a lot of fun, and the goblins were fun. And then I also, since we've been gone, we've been gone a long time, what the hell, I ran my game, and I am discouraged because the GM who bailed is also a player, so like we're gonna have to, but I was bummed at first because I was kind of like, shit, now I've got to refigure out like an entire plot line that was important to the story. But then I kind of got excited because I was like I have space now to rewrite a plot line in the entire story. So I'm gonna try and twist it into a good opportunity and kind of like a positive, like, okay, how can I put some more seasoning or refreshen this a little bit and get the players' input on kind of maybe what they think we should do. It'll be good. It'll be fine. But
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
But that's been my gaming world right now. I'm excited. It's gonna be good.
No, my gaming world right now is I'm transferring from Obsidian to Notion.
I saw that. I saw something on social media. Yeah. How are you doing that?
I'm getting my head around Notion. Obviously, it's got its similarities, and Obsidian is a fantastic tool. Mm-hmm. It is absolutely amazing. It really is, and it's got all the bells and whistles, and the shit you can do on Obsidian you cannot do in any other application, regardless of whether it's a campaign manager or regardless whether it's a note-taking thing. It is just fantastic. The problem is I don't use it. All these things that it can do, all this. Okay, so you can have an initiative tracker, and you can have all your D&D 5e or your Pathfinder stat blocks, and it's like, well, if I'm playing Pathfinder, I'm using Foundry. I've got an initiative tracker. I've got my stat blocks. Why do I need this? Oh, so then you can have a map up and you can pinpoint locations on a map. It's like,
you're not using
again,
that.
If I'm using Foundry, I've got a map already. I can use notes. I don't need that. So the amount of things on Obsidian that I didn't use it wasn't worth the sacrifices I was making to use Obsidian, which is as a financial thing, because I was paying for Obsidian Sync, where I could sync it to many computers.
Yep.
And also the lack of connectivity with it, where it has to be installed on a computer for you to use it. So, for example, if I'm elsewhere and I've got a computer which isn't mine, and I'm going, I could jump in and I could update these notes, and I'm not able to do that. I have to do it on my phone, and the phone's a bit shit. So I started looking into Notion, and it was like, well, I I can log in from any computer whatsoever into Notion, as it's
Yeah.
browser based, and the functionality that it has is what I use anyway. I don't need everything else that Obsidian has to offer.
Right.
So yeah, it just kind
It's
of
like
made
too
more
much bang.
sense.
It's too much bang for your buck, really. Like,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much. I mean, if I'm running a full on D&D campaign,
Mhm.
and I'm not using a VTT, and I'm not
Yeah.
using, if I'm not paying for fucking Foundry, if I'm not,
Right. Yeah.
it makes sense that to have this tool which can basically do everything.
Mhm.
Whereas if I'm not doing that, why the fuck pay for it? And use a tool which has been proven to be functional.
Yeah. I think I've never used anything other than like theater of the mind, and I will occasionally draw a map out for my players. It's not fancy, don't get me wrong, but just so they have a concept. When I say like, oh, the upper right hand corner of the village, most of the time they can just make that up however they want. But if it's like a reoccurring like home location, I make them just a general like, hey, here's the concept. But yeah, no, it's no reason to pay for something if you're not going to use it.
Yeah, and
It's simple, like, especially with
and
today's economy.
and don't get me wrong, there's a learning curve to it.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it is as good as it is because it's got a very vibrant TTRPG developer community.
Yep.
So
That's always helpful.
what you end up doing is you end up having a base application and then all these other add-ons that are meant to work together,
I love add-ons. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a sucker for add-ons.
which are great, but then you run the risk of them stopping working.
Right. Yeah. I am that I love customization. I don't care what it is. It could be like a game, a system, a character sheet, anything. I love customization. It's a problem. Like that's the thing with like I used to play Sims a lot. I had to uninstall it from my computer because I was spending too much time on it. But I never played the game. I just customized shit. I built houses and neighborhoods and entire like villas and villages and castles. Never played the game. I just customized shit. And now like I'm like I said, I could just give an example. Like I can't just play household. I should. No, I'm gonna play household and blue.
You see, I don't customize that much. I'm at an age now where it's like, I want this to do this, and if it doesn't
Yeah.
do this, I'll go find something else.
See, and like
Case in point, I bought a while back. I bought like the WWE 20,
saw you playing that on Discord. It popped up there thing. I was like, what?
and there's a thing like when you start, it's like you get to create your character. It's like
Yeah.
default, move on.
No.
I do not have fucking time.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I love it. Now to be fair, like if it's gonna cause me effort, like, oh, I've got to figure this out how to do. No, but if it's just like, yeah,
Now
I'm
everything I
basic.
do now is for less effort going on.
Yeah,
Like
that's
going
fair.
forward. So like everything I'm doing building in Notion now, it's a case of, so when I get to this point, I don't have to worry about it. I can
There you
just
go.
move on with my
It
life.
can run on its own.
Yeah, same with Savage Worlds. I'm not gonna fucking use coin and encumbrance and but I'm gonna use the wealth rules because it
I
just
don't think
makes
I've
life
ever
so
used
easy.
that. I don't think I've ever used that in any game that I run. Like the whole like, oh, staggered and whatever.
No, I'm
I've
talking
used
about
it
money. I'm
in.
talking about money, money, money,
Well,
money.
no, I know, but like any sort of like realistic measurement, whether it's money, whether it's like health status, whether it's like I didn't use Smash Mouth, I use it in that. That's because you kind of have to. Um, like I don't know, money is a thing unless it's far fetched. Don't get me wrong. Like I had a player one time that was like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy like a copy of the Royal Navy's armor so that I can sneak into the castle." And I'm like, "Where the fuck are you gonna get that?" Like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy it." And like, with what money? You literally said you've been a peasant for the last 20 years on the back of a ship. Where are you gonna get that money?
No, I do like the wealth rules for Savage Worlds. It's an optional rule where your wealth is tied to a dice.
Yeah.
So if you're buying something mundane, just don't worry about it. You crack on,
Exactly.
buy it.
Yeah.
If you're buying something which is like 10 times your dice, you then have to roll.
Yeah.
If you fail, you
Real
don't
life
have
was
enough
like that.
money. If you succeed, you buy it, but you reduce your dice.
We need to have that rule for real life.
Yeah, we do.
Why does money exist?
Because it keeps people like new Hitler in power.
I was so offended. Someone called him I'm gonna forget it again, but it was like someone called him Mango something. Mussolini. Yeah, Mango Mussolini. And I'm like, that's offensive. I realized really quickly that it sounded like I meant it's offensive towards the person. No, it's offensive towards mangoes. I love mangoes. Don't refer to anybody like that to mango. I love mangoes. So yeah.
Yeah, so Connell in the chat has put the Mutants and Masterminds as an optional system for wealth where you roll to purchase like a skill, which is basically what it is in Savage Worlds.
Yep, exactly.
You know, you just add a wealth attribute
and
just roll on that.
I know like the trendy thing is to do games where it's like it's all narrative where, we're just going to talk about our feelings in a circle, and that's fine. I'm totally for that. I like to play a game. I want to roll the dice. Like, I bought dice for this game. I want to roll the dice. I'm not saying I have to roll for everything that I do, but like that. Like, oh, can you afford it or not? Roll the dice. Cool. Like, I like that. It's fun. I want to have fun.
You see, girls just tend to want to have
fun.
Right?
Girls just want to have fun.
They did a song about it, and it's just...
See? People need to listen, and I apparently need Cyndi Lauper hair.
Apparently they just want to have fun, so...
I mean,
listen. No response,
Listen, I'd be okay if all I had to do is play games and make art all day.
No, I just want to have fun, but I also want to cause misery to others, so...
See that, John? Two kinds of people.
I gotta balance it out. I gotta balance it out.
You know what I just realized I'm trying to figure out is why there's a pair of needleless pliers on my desk. We're talking about dice. I looked at my dice thing and there's this right next to him, and I'm like, I don't remember putting these here.
I don't know. I'm just gonna wait for you to figure out why you've got pliers there.
I don't know. Anyways, dice. I need more dice. I only have I have a lot of dice. I shouldn't say I need more dice. Are you a dice goblin? Do you like collecting dice, or are you kind of like...
I do. The only reason I'm getting any more now is because I don't really have anywhere realistic to put them.
Yeah.
My main is there.
Yes.
I've got a dice caddy with about another 10 sets in. I've also got a bag round at our friend's Chris's where I go play weekly, just because I don't want to carry dice with me. And then I've got my good dice, my Cryptic Crits dice.
So I have my Cryptic Chris and my Cthulhu dice right here, and my little dragon horde. I've got my fairy dice, which you guys see these. Hang on a minute. I use these to play household. They're so fucking pretty. I got two of them that I use. There's these like marble D6s, right?
Okay.
But then these, I don't know if you can see them. They have hollow foil in them.
Oh, they're nice. I like them.
Yeah.
They look sharp as well.
They are. I like me some sharp dice. Like, if I can damage someone with them, I'm buying them. That sounds really bad.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Cryptic Crits, and if you guys need dice, check out our friend Cryptic Crits. They're coming back up.
I would say they were down and out for a little bit. They had some stuff going on in their life, but I think they're opening the shop up again soon.
Good.
Because I need more of their dice.
Me too. The only thing is, it's the postage that's a bit prohibitive for me.
Oh yeah,
because they're coming from the States.
I didn't think about that.
But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The ones I got, I'm happy with. I can't buy as many as I would like to buy because I think it cost me about $20 to get a set of dice here.
Oh, because I bet you don't have a lot of. All right, so we need to start a fund. We need to start a company fund of send John dice.
I have not to turn my back on Cryptic Crits, but there is a UK-based dice purveyor, which I'm looking at going, huh.
Have you ever heard of Crystal Maggie?
No, I haven't. No, I was talking about Jody's Dice Farm.
Jody's Dice Farm is good too. They do a lot of Vampire the Masquerade, gothic dice.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good. Crystal Maggie does a lot of legitimate stone dice, actual stone. Go check them out, Crystal Maggie. They've got their own website. They used to be on Etsy for a while. So good. My one of my friends in Indiana, when we used to play D&D there, she bought, it was, what is that? It's the pink crystal, rose quartz, a pair of rose quartz dice. They're beautiful. Beautiful. It's, yeah. Anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at
Oh, there
now.
you go. Yep. Yeah. They're so pretty. They're painfully pretty. Like, I want the ones on the far right. But yeah, they make like metal stone dice, crystal dice. Like, they've got obviously your basic stuff too, but it's the sharp edges. They're just good. That's my jam right there. Oh, if you scroll down, you see Dragon Ball Z dice
Whoa.
right there.
Fucking yes.
I should have started with that with you. I should have been like, oh, hey. Right?
Oops.
No. Whoops.
Whoops. Don't you just hate it when that happens?
No.
I slipped. You saw it. I slipped.
I did.
It was like,
a total accident. Yeah. And it just,
it was a total accident.
The internet went out, and then when it came back in,
they were in my car.
It's so weird.
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know how that happened either.
I'm going to have to wait until payday, though, because
I just, like, can't keep my mouth in my water. Can't keep my mouth.
You can't keep your mouth in the water. Okay, fair enough.
Need adult supervision. Just
You
make
certainly
nachos
fucking
later.
need something.
Right? Yeah. No lie.
Design
so what's your next game?
Next game, I do believe, is going to be Parasand tomorrow, which is Geomistress Winter Pathfinder 2e game.
Playing in that game. Like, what's your character?
I don't
think you told us.
So basically, class-wise, she is a monk.
Okay.
But she is a monastic archer monk. So she's got all the monk abilities, but it's with a bow and arrow instead.
We did briefly touch on this.
Yeah, so
I love that.
Very much inspired by the League of Shadows.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of going off like the CW Arrow version of it, where, yeah, they were bastards, but not, they're slightly sort of redeemable.
Yep.
So, yeah, so she is basically inspired by like Nissa Al Ghul, where she is the incumbent to this monastic order, and part of her training is go out into the world.
I actually really like that when someone plays a monk and it is the training of like, okay, you're not a master yet. You have to go out and you have to face these trials first. I tried playing a monk in Pathfinder once and it was awful for multiple reasons. But I designed a monk, like, I don't say race, but I designed a monk culture that was desert based, and they were so fucking cool. And I've yet to have a chance to actually play them to their coolness. But it was a similar concept of like they were a desert nomadic monk tribe basically, and their final like, okay, for you to earn your masters and whatever, you have to go out and you have to prove that like basically you're worth anything. Not worded that way, but.
No, but for my character in this, it's a case of we've taught you how to fight.
Yeah.
We've taught you how to protect. We've taught you how to be a guardian. But there's so much that we can't teach you. You need to go out into the world. You need to learn how to basically be a leader. You have to learn how to interact with people. You've got to learn about the highs and the lows of society, and that she's on this sort of pilgrimage.
I love pilgrimage stories or coming of age stories. They're my favorite. I have a soft spot for them. That or redemption arcs. I love like old, worthless, like shitty characters that they're like, okay, this is my chance to redeem my past arc or whatever. Not necessarily angst lords, but like, soldiers with a bad past or something like that. Like my current character, she's a warlock, right? But she's not a warlock like, oh, woe is me. She's a warlock as in like, I suddenly have these powers and I don't know where they came from. Her warlock patron? Patreon? What's the word? Patron, thank you.
Warlock Patreon.
You pay me and I'll cast your spells.
At the 16 souls and above tier.
I'm playing a mutant class, which is so much fun because she doesn't actually know who her patron is. It's like magic in itself. Is not going to get into the weeds of it, but the point is she's a bastard. Like she's a illegitimate child of the Lord of Rivermill, and she's always been like this sense of duty. Like, no, I'm going to take over. I'm going to make sure that everything goes accordingly. I'm going to prove my worth to this town. And this is actually the same story where they killed the black dragon, they attacked her town. And these owl knights show up and they're like, well, we forgot this town existed. Sorry. We'll help protect you from now on, but we need conscripts? Is that where people leave for militia reasons? Conscripts, right? Conscribes?
I have no idea. I can't help you with that
Whatever.
one.
Anyways, and she's like, yeah. And she immediately is like, yeah, I'm going to go. And it's because she kind of like wants to prove that she's like pay back the town that like took her in and like I'm worth something, but only for the reason to come back and be like, I did it. So that's I'm kind of combining the whole like coming of age and like go out into the world, prove yourself story, and then squishing it all into one little piece of. I'm hungry. One little piece of cake. I'm like, oh my god, I don't know when the last time I had cake was. I'm really hungry.
So here's a character idea. Now you said about redemption arcs.
Oh,
how about someone who is on a redemption arc, but he's got a lot of redemption arcs. He's like a self-flagellating sort of person who'll go, I once didn't return a book to the library on time. I must redeem myself. And then once that's out of the way, it's like, I once evaded a parking ticket. And then he has to redeem himself over that as well. And it's just an ongoing, never-ending fucking thing.
I actually know someone who would play that character very well.
I think it'd be fun. I think
it would be
just every little sort of not good thing that this character has done during the entire
I didn't tip
thing.
enough one time to that waitress.
That's it. That's his redemption arc. And Connell just put it, my name is Earl. Like, yes, that's it. You play Earl. Now, everything is a redemption arc. He has to redeem himself with
earn back his whateverness. I'm here for it. His whateverness.
And what it could be like a paladin whose power, he's lost all his power and he doesn't know what made him lose it. So he has to redeem himself for every little bad thing he's fucking done.
My god, that'd be hilarious.
To get his power back.
That. Okay. I love that. Character made. I'm for it.
That's it. He's lost his power. He doesn't know why. So it's just like, okay, right. So this time
I'm so sorry for that. And I'm paying my penance. Wasn't that okay? Let me find something else.
And he has to redeem it through action. What you can do, just leave everything open, and then just as a player, just every little thing that is put your way in the adventure, you kind of make up a backstory as to how that one time this has got something to do with that.
I will watch a movie or a show like that. Like that's good.
Wait, My Name is Earl is a close.
I haven't seen it.
It's good.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's fun. It just ended kind of really abruptly, which wasn't ideal, but it was fun. Yeah. It was a good show, especially when it was like, I need to, because what it is, he basically is under the impression that karma is out to get him. So he has to satisfy karma. So he's got a list of 100 things he's done wrong. And every episode, he's trying to sort of right that wrong. And sometimes it turns out that he's not righting the right wrong, as it were.
That's fantastic. I love it. It's
a good show. It is a fun show.
There's a show that I started watching. I didn't finish it. Like, if I'm going to be completely honest, I'm not. If I'm going to spend time sitting down watching something, like, it has to get me immediately. And there's a show I think where someone could see ghosts, and she was trying to like figure out how to have this ghost like find its final piece to send it on its way. So she had to go through like trials to figure out how to put this ghost to rest. It was a cool concept, but I couldn't. Like, I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that. If I start a show and it doesn't grab, I tried watching Reacher the other day.
A lot of people like Reacher.
It's shit.
A lot of people like Reacher. I can't say it's shit because I have not had the attention span to watch it. It's been playing in the background a couple of times, and like I'm trying to pay attention, but for me, it's like I like the concept of it. I like the books it's based off of. It's so yeah. Stefan would be offended. Sam just put in the chat. Stefan would be offended. Stefan's a big Reacher fan.
I don't know what the books are like. I just watched an episode and it was just like
it's so dry for me. Like, and here's okay. And here's a big Atlas thing. If I'm going to watch modern day, there has to be something so far fetched that it's not something that I would experience in everyday real life or hear about in the news. Like it's hard for me to watch Law and Order shows. It's hard for me to watch sitcoms, rom-coms, anything that's like, oh, modern day life. Haha, this unique situation happened. I'm like, okay, like my life is active enough that if your show is more boring than my real life, I'm not going to sit down and watch it.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, and that sounds really like bitchy, but I don't know. When I want to be entertained, I want to escape. I want to experience something I don't normally experience. I play role playing games. Like, I feel like that's
I get it.
hello. Like, but yeah. So, slice of life is really hard for me. Really hard.
Yeah, to me, to a certain extent, yeah, I agree. But then I can always find the absurdity within the mundane.
Try it. Like, okay, you're gonna laugh. My girl guilty whatever. What are they called? Chick flick series that I love is Bridget Jones. Bridget Jones' Diary.
I watched when I was on holiday. I watched the last one of them.
Yeah, I love that series. Is it trash? Yeah. Is it good writing? No. Am I absolutely obsessed? Yes. Like I will sit down and watch that no matter what.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not the target audience for that movie.
No.
But the last one I watched, it was the latest one that came out.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was relatively entertaining. Although she does my fucking head in. The main character is just like, oh, just fucking.
No, she's awful. But I don't know what it is. It's just a comfort series for me. Sam says she's currently rewatching Queen Charlotte. That's a good one.
No idea what that is.
Holy shit. You do. Have you heard of Bridgerton?
Yeah, I've heard of. Yeah.
It's the queen in that series. Netflix did a like a smaller series based off the queen when she was younger and how she became queen. Let me tell you, it's actually really good. Like Bridgerton, but Queen Charlotte, that's good. And it's very good.
Was Bridgerton the Netflix show, or was that the TTRPG community thing that they did?
Bridgerton was a Netflix show. They did I think it was Castleton, I think.
That was the one.
Yeah.
See, I'm not interested in fucking either of them.
To be fair, neither was I. I fell into the Bridgerton hole on accident, and then I quickly climbed out of it. But then Queen Charlotte got me. Queen Charlotte's so good.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to watch Severance season 2 because season 1 was phenomenal.
Severance. What is Severance about?
But anyway, back to tabletop role-playing games.
Yeah.
The thing that we are meant to be talking about. Right, if I don't do this, we're not going to fucking do it. But a couple of weeks ago, when we were last on the show, I put out a question that has been stewing for the past 3 weeks. It has
been.
So what I asked was, what GM red flags can you think of, and what do you think the best way to address them is? And we got quite a few responses, not as many as the player red flags.
I feel like people are scared to say anything.
There are more players than there are GMs.
I think also people might be scared to say anything about their GMs if their GMs are online.
I wouldn't be.
Potentially.
I wouldn't be. All right, so KOH Coke bottles. It's KOHK bottles. I've only just realized that that's what the name is because I was looking at going, is it Coke or Cup? But yeah, it's Coke bottles. Coke bottles. Yes. All right. They've got a few. So, can't or won't do basic organizer communication or lifting. They won't set or respect group boundaries, adversarial to players, won't listen to player desires. It's my world story, railroad shit. Favoritism. I personally find GMPCs distasteful. Ignoring feedback, demand for character voices, or pushing players too hard to engage with something or learn the system. I think a lot of those you can get rid of them by just not playing D&D.
Yeah, well, not even D&D, but don't play with assholes. Like,
just get rid of D&D. You get rid of half those fucking problems. All right. World of Wordcraft says inflexibility in general, schedule, rules, story, possibilities. Inflexibility, what do you think? Do you think that is a red flag, or do you think that there is wiggle room? Because
I think it can be a red flag. Inflexibility. Yeah, I think that can be a red flag. I think that's one of those balance things. Like, a GM should be flexible, but a GM should also be a GM. Like, if you don't want a GM, then don't fucking play a game with GM. There's plenty of GM-less games out there. Go play one.
I'm wondering how many players complain about inflexibility just because their GM said no to them.
That's the thing. There's also a big like culture out there of like never tell your players no. That's fine.
I go, fuck no.
I know we've talked about this. Like that's fine. That's like it's hard for me. It's really hard for me because I feel like every time I kind of want to try something like indie game related, it's like, oh well, don't tell them no. Like work together to figure out a plan. And I'm like, that's not the game I want to play, which is fine. Other people can play that game. But like, if the GM tells me no, the GM tells me no, and there's usually a good reason for it. But that's why I say it's a balance thing, because if it's an asshole reason, like, and there's no legitimate reason for the no, then yeah, it's a red flag. If it is a like, well, this is my story and it's going to go the way I want it to go, red flag. If it's a no, because that will be breaking like the scene. Like again, it's like what I gave earlier. Like if my character is in a wheelchair, okay, and like that's her character, because I've done that actually. I very much so love characters with disabilities because I feel like they should be featured more, but that's another tangent. Like she's not gonna suddenly get up and fucking sprint down the thing to catch a bad guy. Like that's my thing. Is like if the GM says no because it's mechanic related or story related, like
the no has to be rooted in. There has to be a reason.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. There has to be a no because.
Exactly.
I think that is the crux of it. It just can't be a no. It's going to be
said so.
No, because because these are the reasons why.
Yeah.
Okay, so Constant Connell, he's actually added this. He's actually, I don't know, some random dude. Looks fucking sexy though. I'm just saying.
Blows ego up more than it is.
And a blow something. Anyway, so yeah, he's put a couple of entries in. So this is the first one. He goes, there are so many. A GM that can't keep a schedule is a big one. We're adults that have to work around our schedules just to be able to attend game in the first place. If the GM cancels excessively, that's blatantly disrespectful to the rest of the table. And then there is blatant and unfair favoritism. It's one thing to focus on a more outgoing player or natural attention between best friends. Not cool when that person is getting preferential treatment and extra power, resources, and spotlight. Okay, then. Oh, Tim's Hermitage. Open communication is the best way to address any issue. A GM who is not open to communicating is a bad GM. Lack of punctuality, excessive cancellation, lack of planning organization, favoritism, inconsistency and rule interpretation, and doesn't call out and address toxic behavior. Which, yeah, I can't really fault either of those, whether it's Connell's or
so far, all of them, I'm like, yeah. So far with every answer, I've been like, yeah, spot on. Those are all red flags.
Flashheart88 says lots of good stuff here. If a GM asks for player input or player preference, then ignores the response, that's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
GMs that aren't interested in tailoring the game to the preferred playstyles of the players are a red flag to me. I think, yeah, to a certain degree. To a certain degree, because I think there is part of a social contract where you choose to sit down at a table.
Yeah.
And, if the GM goes, okay, this is my existential horror game, why the fuck are you playing this? So whatever. Or something that doesn't fit.
Right. Like
you can tailor to a player, but to a certain degree.
Yeah, I mean, a perfect example of that is, we play Mutants and Masterminds, which is a superhero game. There's guts and gore and violence in superhero stories. But we have a player on our online table in my Discord she's like, I don't do gore well. So you just tone it down. It's not suddenly we throw a flower at somebody and no, it's just like you just don't describe, like, be kind and considerate, be a human being. It's not that, well, for some people it's hard, I guess, but
yeah, I mean, there's boundaries and there's player safety. That is one thing.
Yeah.
But catering completely.
I think catering is the word.
I think it is again, we're talking about a balance. We're talking about, let's see. This is the game I want to run. What are your expectations? And let's find a middle ground.
It's the difference between two C words. It's the being considerate, having consideration.
Word?
Yeah. No, not that one. It's being considerate and having consideration versus catering. I think that those two kind of people think it gets all whatever, because you should be considerate of the player's table, because that's we'll get to that later. That's one of my red flags, but yeah.
All right, so Dartholdius, he says that GM PCs are a huge one. The GM wanting a PC is fine as long as the character isn't disproportionate to the party. but the GMPC invariably outshines the party in so many ways, and the game gets focused on them.
Yep.
As with humans in general, lack of empathy is a bad sign too.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with the empathy one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, because I wouldn't know what is the difference between a GMPC
Oh my
and a
God, John.
PC being played by the GM. What would
It's how they play it. It's how they play
Okay.
it. So, for example, I have played with a GM who had they called it an NPC, okay? And it was someone that had stats that they played as part of the team occasionally. Sometimes they didn't. But like they were part of the storyline. They were not the main character. Okay. They were a tool or part of the story, something that helps the players. And then I played with a GM where they literally like created an entire character sheet for their character. And no, something went wrong. It's okay. My character ran in and saved the day with things they're not actually able to do, but it's okay because I just saved all of you. Like, it's that. It's where it's like that character then is the main character. That character is the savior. That character literally is the answer to everything. That's usually the difference when people talk about GM PCs, is because it's the like ultimate like god mod. And that's so annoying. I've had GMs play NPCs that could be quoted as a GM PC, and it wasn't a problem. But usually, when it's not a problem, the GMs themselves refer to them as NPCs. That's
Okay, so next up we've got Restless Barbarian Gaming, who says,
I mean, I think again, balance, like that flexibility, inflexibility thing. Like if you've got a character, I mean, a character, Jesus, if you've got a player who's like, oh no, like the sky is cloudy, I can't make it to game at 5 minutes before game starts for 3 games in a row. That's not your GM not being flexible. That's you being a flake.
I think that's all kind of, I mean, we can focus it onto like tabletop role-playing games. That's just fucking social contract.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
Again,
if you
human
agree to
decency.
meet your
Like,
friends once a week for a game of football,
yeah,
and you carry on cancelling, at some point they're going to tell you to fuck off.
exactly. We actually we don't stop our games. Like if someone can't make it, okay, well then your character's not there. Oh, that's not fair. It's totally fair.
I've been a bit more lenient with Impossible Landscapes just by virtue of
That's hard.
so much can happen so quickly that if you miss too much, you're going to be fucking lost.
Yeah.
So we've had a player who couldn't make it the past couple of weeks, and I was immediately saying to him, if you want us to not play and I'll run Blades in the Dark, say so.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. Nobody will be miffed. It'll be, this is what we're doing this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, just because if you would rather not miss something important, then we'll hold it. Right. But, you know, he was all right. It was just, you know, you guys will just catch me up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. What else we got? Another one from Connell. We've been double teamed by Connell, so it's not my birthday yet. He says, adversarial GMs. You can't beat my dungeon. You'll never figure out my plot. More of an old school GM quality that's mostly died out. Then also GMs that can't say no. This is a personal thing. He's not a fan of yes and, as he would prefer a no but. He likes a GM to maintain cohesion in the setting and story.
Yeah. It's all about balance, man.
It is. It is all about balance. I would agree with that. I mean, adversarial GMs, I think there are systems which
I think it's a generation.
No, I think it's system. I think it's
we know
there
you
are
think it's
systems
system. You say that every week.
In which the GM is basically the person who has to enforce the rules. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a lot easier to fall into that.
I don't think that's the problem in what he's talking about, because it's not about enforcing the rules. It's literally, we had a GM that was like,
I'm not saying enforcing the rules.
Destroy the party. Like they wanted the party to fail.
That putting the GM in that position can create that sense of
no, I get that, but
versus them.
But what I'm saying is like the adversarial GM that he was talking about, like, oh, you can't defeat my dungeon, is talking about like, oh, I want to break the party. I want the party to fail. And I think that's a horrible mindset to have just in general. Like, It's not the party versus the GM ever, no matter what you're playing. Like,
I think there is still room for that. I think there is
well, in
room
Impossible
for
Landscapes, it kind of is because like you're trying to fuck up their heads.
no, but I think there's still, regardless of what you're playing, I think there is room for that. But it has to be, this is what you're walking into. This is the game that you're walking into.
Right. Yeah.
You
like,
know, it has to be a case of like, what's that fucking D&D module like that? Just completely insane killer dungeon. I can't remember what it's called. Where it's like, if you're playing that, yeah, let's do it. You
Yeah.
versus us, sort of
Yeah.
thing.
But but I feel like you would know that going into that game.
Yeah,
But then again, there's people that want like a fluffy hold hands game without the. I literally saw a review of actually Bluebeard's Bride, right? This is why I almost said I wasn't going to run it at all ever. Is because it's a very dark game. It has very triggering like themes. You have to make sure your players understand. Like, it deals with content that is not safe or comfortable for, I would say, 80% of the population, especially women. The game is about surviving trauma, if we're being very blunt. Someone was talking about they didn't know how to handle a situation with their game where they're running it because the bride made a choice, and when the consequence came up, the player had a meltdown. She's like, well, I don't want that consequence. And they're like, okay, that's literally like the consequence of this happening. What would you prefer? And she just wanted to hand wave it, like, oh, nothing happens. And it's like, do you know what game you signed up for? Like,
yeah,
no, your games.
I mean, I think that's where trigger warnings are hugely important. And don't get me wrong, I think adversarial GMs are about as much of a problem as adversarial players.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because,
like,
you know, in a system where the GM is basically the rule enforcer, it is easy to kind of go, okay, let's try and beat this person.
I do have to say though, like, as much as the indie scene kind of irritates me sometimes because it is that like no GM, no rules, whatever, yes and, which is again fine. It's just not my style of gaming. I do have to say a lot of the newer people, like the newer players, the newer GMs that are coming into the hobby, like the next generation or so, I have seen so far less min-maxing and adversarial GMs of like it's me versus the players. And I feel like it's a hopeful sign for me. I'm hoping it's like, all right, let's just keep going that direction, y'all. Let's keep going.
I haven't seen it in anything that wasn't D&D or Pathfinder.
I've seen it in everything except D&D right now.
Like, I've seen it in. I haven't seen it in Call of Cthulhu. Yeah. I haven't seen it in any other system that I've played. That is where I've enjoyed more because it is. I've enjoyed the collaborative storytelling aspect of it. Whereas
every story should be collaborative. I don't know. It's like you just said, you sit down at a table for a GM to tell a story. Like that's what I want to do. If I want to tell a story, then I'll just GM it. Like, I don't know. We talked about that one game where you make up the rules as you play, but that would take too much time for me. I want to play the game. I don't want to build the game.
I'd be interested in giving that a go still.
Yeah.
All right, so that is it for our question of the week.
Yeah.
What's
your red flag as a GM? What's your red flag? What's your GM red flag?
My GM red flag is rolling for everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think there has to get to a point where the GM can just kind of go, all right, let's not have to roll for everything.
Yeah.
Normally you'll see it like towards the end of a combat, you know, and I was on a society game once where the combat took a left turn. Mm-hmm. You know, it was meant to be, we have this combat, and one of the players, I think, got grabbed by something that took him away, whereas another player kind of gave chase. And it was for the next half an hour, just that player and that GM kind of going, okay, now you roll to catch up. Now I roll to get away. Now you roll to catch up.
That's
and awful. It was like, why is this, why is this necessary?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, one of two things is going to happen. Either the creature's going to get away, or you're going to catch up and you're going to rescue the person. Why don't you make it one fucking dice roll?
Yes.
If you are insistent
100%.
On, and having everything sort of boiled down to the minimum, sort of, okay, that's you so move boring. Another 30 feet. It just gets fucking tedious.
It's so boring. That was my very first combat. I was so bad at combat the first time I GM'd. That was exactly what I did. I was like, all right, and you miss, and next one, and you miss.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, I should never run again. Thankfully, I got over that.
All right, so that's it for our question of the week. I'm going to give you next week's question just so anybody who watches the show can get a jump on it. If
Ooh.
not, I will post it on Threads and Blue Sky tomorrow. But next week's question is, in a game that you've either GM'd or played, doesn't matter which, has there ever been like a small throwaway, insignificant detail that the table has latched onto to the point of having to make it a major plot point?
Yeah, that'll be good. I can't wait to hear the answers to that one. It's gonna be a good one.
Okay. I've got a weird message over on Twitch from Goro187. It's, when are you going to be honest with Atlas about how you've been plotting against them to make a new podcast that only talks about how you have hidden your phylactery somewhere, and as Atlas, they can't find it? That to me sounds bot-like.
What?
That's weird. Yeah, that's fucking weird.
I'm here for it.
Okay.
That's a
fair
good one.
enough.
Never, because that's his ultimate plan to, you know.
He is no mere bot child. I am no mere bot child of the written words. Okay, well, say hello to Goro, everyone.
Yeah. Spanish for anything?
Not the way that that's written.
Okay. I was hopeful.
Your attempt to roll a perception check rolled a critical one. All right, well.
All right. Well, thanks for joining.
Hey,
yeah.
I'm fucking thrilled that we've got someone over on fucking Twitch.
Right? Yeah. A little twitchy on Twitch, but all right.
It doesn't happen that often, but yeah, thanks for joining us, and it is great to see you and great to field these weird fucking questions, so keep them coming.
Please. Oh my God.
All right. But unfortunately, that's about all we've got time for this evening. So first of all, I want to thank everyone in the chat, both on YouTube and on Twitch, for joining us. It's great to see you guys. It's great to interact with you guys. And it's, it's good to be fucking back.
Yeah.
I know I was back last week, but I fucked up, daylight savings time. And next week, I do believe we go back to the 5-hour time
normal,
difference.
Finally.
I think we go back to normal. So it will be 12:30 Eastern time again. But also, Atlas, thank you for joining me this evening. If you want to tell people whereabouts they can find you on the old interwebs,
yeah, Blue Sky, TikTok, Threads, Atlas like the Titan, Ursa like the bear, whose ears are very crooked today. But yeah,
they are a bit crooked. They are a bit crooked.
My problem is.
As for me, you can find me behind most of our social media. I'm Natural.Juan on Threads, Blue Sky on Mastodon. We've got a Facebook group. Feel free to come and join us there. We do have a Discord, which you are welcome to come and join. And we've got a chat for our $3 tier and above called the Traveler's Chalice, where it just gets more and more random as days go by. As we slowly start to lose our fucking minds.
Yes.
But as always, if you like what we do and you want to see more, give us a like, a rating, subscribe, or just even tell your friends about us. We love this community. We want to grow with it, and we want to reach as many of you as possible. And most importantly of all, thank you to everyone who's taken time out of their busy day to listen to two idiots waffle on about tabletop role-playing games. Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night. Good day. I gotta go make nachos.